I'm sure when you hear about someone being addicted to video games, you probably roll your eyes, laugh a little to yourself, and think, yeah, right. Well, as someone who works at a store that sells video games, and who enjoys playing video games myself, I understand the appeal that video games have. But it's kind of hard to believe that someone's life could be seriously affected by video game addiction, because we don't see it as being as harmful as alcoholism or drug addiction. But the truth is, addiction in any form can have serious consequences. Video game addiction may or may not be considered a real addiction by some, but it is a real addiction nonetheless. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, addiction is defined as a strong and harmful need to regularly have something or do something. Addicts not only harm themselves with their addiction, but they can also harm the lives of those around them. This is also true for video game addiction. So today I would like to talk to you about what video game addiction is, what causes it, and how it can affect the lives of the addicts and those around them. So let's start with what video game addiction is. Video game addiction is the intense need to play video games, and the addicts may think of little else. However, not all who play video games are addicts. Games can also be very helpful. It can provide an escape for your everyday life and a place to feel safe and in control. According to Computer and Video Game Addiction, a comparison between game users and non-game users by Dr. Aviv Weinstein, it is considered an addiction because the addicts can change moods at any time, they can experience withdrawal, it can cause conflict between family and friends, and the addicts can also relapse. Some signs you need to look out for as parents and grandparents of young gamers. Addicts will feel the need to play video games constantly. They may skip meals, work, or sleep just to play the video game. However, some do not show symptoms. Now, you may think that people are addicted to video games simply because they enjoy playing the game itself, but there are actually many factors that contribute to video game addiction. Personality can cause video game addiction, according to an article by Antonius Van Rouge and others, called Online Video Game Addiction, Identification of Addicted Adolescent Gamers. Low self-esteem plays a role in video game addiction, as well as depression, loneliness, and the need to connect with others. Social anxiety also plays a role in video game addiction. Addicts find it easier to talk to people online versus face-to-face because it decreases their fear of rejection. They can also become whoever they want to be online and don't have to be themselves. Video game addicts have increased. The number of video game addicts has increased over the years due to the increase of MMORPGs, which stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Games. There are so many free MMORPGs now, like StarCraft, World of Warcraft, and the internet is also more accessible now, and all of these contribute to video game addiction increase over the years. So now that you know a little bit more about what causes video game addiction, let's talk about the consequences of being an addict and how it can affect the lives of their family and friends. Addicts put video games before their own health. They eat less, they sleep less, exercise less, and they don't really care about their personal hygiene. Addicts will also put video games before others. They'd rather play video games than hang out with friends. They may forget important family events. They will only talk to people online sometimes, and in some cases, they may even forget to provide for their own child. It can also cause illnesses, according to Dr. Weinstein's article. It may cause muscle and joint problems, and they even have ailments named after video games, such as Pac-Man's elbow and Space Invaders Revenge. As you can see, I have a typical video game controller. This is an Xbox controller, and you can kind of tell that holding them for long periods of time a day can get kind of awkward and can cause muscle problems in your hands. And video game addiction can also cause epileptic seizures. In its worst cases, video game addiction can cause death. So it's important to seek help if you or anyone you know may be addicted to video games. So today I've talked about video game addiction and how serious it can be. I talked about what causes it and how personality can play a role in video game addiction. Lastly, I talked about how it can affect the life of the addict and the lives of those around them. It's important to remember that while video games can be harmless in moderation, if done excessively, can cause dangerous implications. Online video gamers should be aware of their habits and should seek help if they find their habits affecting their daily lives. Thank you.